Well, in what is another twist, we have a huge update on Celtic's ongoing managerial hunt. We will cover this story in today's video, whilst of course going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours.
But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content.
On the eve of what is shaping up to be one of the most tense AGMs in years at Celtic, the Celts fans collective have launched a direct critique of Chief Executive Michael Nicholson's performance ahead of the meeting. Supporter frustration has steadily intensified throughout a turbulent season, marked by poor communication, declining performances, and deepening anger towards the club hierarchy. Having already declared their opposition to several long-serving board members, the collective has now turned its attention to the man at the top of the day-to-day operation at Celtic. Nicholson has been accused of lacking leadership, vision, and authority at a time when the club is crying out for clarity and direction. The statement issued to coincide with his re-election bid reads, "Michael Nicholson's position as CEO is no longer credible. His tenure has been defined by weak leadership, poor communication, and an inability to articulate any meaningful vision for Celtic." At a time when the club needs clarity, confidence, and ambition, Nicholson has looked out of his depth. He promised supporters that he wants the club to be world-class in everything we do. Under his guidance, the club is mediocre in almost all areas. A Celtic CEO should be visible, authoritative, and capable of engaging openly with supporters. Nicholson's unwillingness to communicate has left the fan base feeling ignored, detached, and devalued. His record on fan issues is appalling. These shortcomings were brutally exposed at the meeting with the Celts fans collective. He struggled to answer basic questions, failed to explain the club's direction, and appeared completely overwhelmed by the demands of the role. His lack of ambition was underlined further when he stated he believed the club's recent European record is satisfactory. Celtic needs a leader who is ambitious, communicative, and relentless in pushing the continual improvement of all aspects of the club. Instead, we have a CEO who aims low, accepts mediocrity, and is normalizing regression at a club that should demand far higher standards than he is delivering. Michael, your time at Celtic has expired. With the AGM set for tomorrow, the board will hope this critique doesn't turn into a broader revolt. Now for the main story, as Columbus Crew's Issa Tall has added another twist to the Wilfried Nancy saga, insisting that Celtic have not made an official approach for their head coach. Tall, who is the Crew's general manager, was speaking on the latest episode of Inside the Crew and made it clear that despite reports in Scotland and the US claiming talks had begun or that Celtic had been granted permission, nothing has actually landed on their desk. Some had even gone as far as to say that talks over compensation were unwelcome, with Celtic expected to have to fork out £2 million for the coach. He explained, "I was told there was a report that said we gave permission to Celtic, but in order to get permission, you have to ask. We haven't had anything from that particular club. We've never received something official. I'm not saying it couldn't come into my mailbox in the next hour, but for now, we haven't heard anything." This only deepens the confusion surrounding the managerial search. Scottish outlets insist that Celtic held discussions with Nancy's representatives over the weekend and are preparing to escalate things in the coming days. Meanwhile, American reporters claim a deal is expected to happen, while Tall himself says the clubs have yet to speak. It leaves supporters stuck in the middle of contradictory claims and stuck waiting. Celtic confirmed on Monday evening that Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney will continue to lead the team on an interim basis, but offered no update on the wider appointment process. They'll continue in their post until a new manager is appointed. The hope now is that Celtic push through the final stages of their search and put an end to the uncertainty. Lastly, the 2025 Celtic AGM will take place at Celtic Park on Friday, the 21st of November 2025 at 10:30 a.m., and it has all the ingredients to become one of the most heated meetings in the club's modern history. There is discontent among sections of the support over recruitment, communication, and direction at board level. The meeting, formally called by Celtic plc, will see shareholders consider 17 resolutions, including 2 tabled by members under the Companies Act, both brought forward by the Celtic Trust. The annual general meeting will take place at Celtic Park on Friday, the 21st of November 2025, beginning at 10:30 a.m. Only shareholders whose names appeared on the register by 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 19th of November, will be eligible to attend and vote. Those unable to attend in person can vote by proxy through Computershare Investor Services or via the online Investor Centre. Forms must be received no later than 24 hours before the meeting begins. There are 17 resolutions in total, with the first 14 covering the standard business of reappointing directors, auditors, and approving the annual accounts. The board will once again seek the re-election of figures including Dermot Desmond, Peter Lawwell, Michael Nicholson, Brian Wilson, and Sharon Brown. Resolutions 10 and 11 concern the director's remuneration policy and report, both advisory only, while Resolution 15 is a special resolution authorizing the board to allot equity securities. However, the real focus for many supporters will be on Resolutions 16 and 17, both submitted by the Celtic Trust, which directly question the club's strategic direction and leadership. The first trust-backed resolution instructs the Celtic board to prepare and publish a 3 to 5 year strategic plan covering football, financial, and structural goals. The proposal calls for clear, measurable targets, with board remuneration linked to performance against those objectives. In their supporting statement, the requisitioning shareholders said the move was necessary to rebuild trust and confidence and to provide transparency and openness after what they describe as years of drift. The board has recommended shareholders vote against this resolution, arguing that an existing strategic report already covers key performance indicators and that producing a separate forward-looking report would not be in the company's best interests. The second Celtic Trust resolution is even more direct, stating that the AGM has no confidence in the Chief Executive, Chairman and Chief Financial Officer. It criticises their handling of transfer windows, stadium development and fan engagement, calling for a full board refresh to bring fresh ideas and a reset of the club's relationship with supporters. The board has also urged shareholders to vote against this motion, citing its adherence to corporate governance standards and the ongoing annual re-election process for all directors. With Celtic supporters increasingly vocal about boardroom performance, the 2025 AGM comes at a critical moment. The Trust's resolutions have drawn significant attention across fan channels and social media, with many expecting robust exchanges inside the Kerrydale suite. While the club's major shareholders are likely to ensure the board's preferred resolutions pass, the tone in the room and the strength of dissent from smaller shareholders will offer a clear indication of how deep the divide has become between the boardroom and the terraces.
What do you think of what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comment section below. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.